Welcome to Maritime Commons, the digital repository of the World Maritime University. Maritime Commons is a project that the library staff has been working on since late spring of 2015. We're finally at a place where we're ready to show you what we've got so far. We hope to get you interested, and we hope that you will be interested in participating. So let's take a little closer look at the home page here of Maritime Commons. This is as I say, digital repository software. It's organized around collections. The default view is condensed here, but you can expand and see the collections that we have so far. All of these in this hierarchy are groups of digital content. In addition to collections, there's disciplines, which is a concept of the Digital Commons platform. Digital Commons is what we're using for Maritime Commons. It's made by the B Press group out in Berkeley, California. And disciplines is a way of linking different authors to works in the same discipline. In fact, you can browse across the entire Digital Commons network in their disciplines. As you can see, there's 398 colleges and universities with repositories that are participating so far. This is the breakdown of the number of documents in each of the major categories. All of these disciplines have sub-disciplines. The hierarchy is determined by bpress, the terminology that's used. However, it is the WMU authors and the editors and the librarians who actually assign the terms to each work, and they link the works and authors across the Commons network. We also have browse by authors. This includes all authors in the repository, not just the WMU faculty and students who publish there. The library collects content, and its content, of course, has authors, and you'll find those in there as well. Okay, let's look in the middle of the page here. You have the organization by research unit. That's pretty much the same page as the collections page for now. We can work on that as we get more interest from the various research groups and people wanting to put stuff in the Commons. There is a selected works gallery. Selected works is a complementary product that goes along with the Digital Commons repository. It is an author gallery for author publications. We will talk more about that momentarily. The authors that you see in the link here will, of course, be to all authors of any kind of content, whereas the selected works are just those people in WMU who have a faculty profile page. Okay, in the organization, we have some flexibility as to what we want to put on this top page. For the time being, I have put in WMU in the news, which is just scanned copies of articles about the university. They were done in the 1980s, most of them. And we just thought that would be nice to put up there. But we can rearrange this and put whatever we like at the top. Download maps are a feature that are very common to the Digital Commons repositories, and they can be put at any level. So this is our overall download map, but at each collection, we can also have a download map relevant only to that collection. When you look at a download map, you'll see that if you look at the top there, that it'll tell you the readers that are downloading which document and where they come from. So that's pretty neat. And as you can see, downloads per day, total downloads, total number of papers in the collection, and in the past year. So pretty neat feature. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. Conferences. The Digital Commons platform supports conferences and events. We put one of ours up here. As you can see, presentations can be listed by day, or they can be listed by theme. We've got the download map on this as well. Let's take a look at one of these presentations. You see the author links here. These, if you were to click any one of these, it would pull together all the articles or documents that have been authored by that author, not just in WMU, but in any of the Digital Commons platforms in the academic network. Here you have the metadata. We have some customization capabilities here, depending on the collection or document type. But that is handy for searches and for making browse lists. And then you have the links to works in the same discipline. We've only assigned one discipline here, but you can assign many more. And again, this is across the entire Digital Commons network. So if we were to click this link, we would see a network of 99 institutions, 4,700 authors, over 3,700 full-text articles with 401,000 downloads. And that's the network. That's the power of the Digital Commons network. Okay, let's look real quick at our dissertations. We have put 487 dissertations, by far our best downloaded collection. The dissertations are just those that were, quote, born digital from 1999 onward. We will later, we hope to have a scanning project to get the rest of them. But these have already proven to be quite popular with global download statistics that are quite impressive. As you can see, you can browse by year. You can also browse dissertations by specialization. There's a search feature in Maritime Commons. You can search the text as well as the metadata, author title, etc., date. In the dissertation series, that's what they call a collection, you can also search the same across all documents in Maritime Commons, all the repositories that we host, and you can search text and metadata throughout the entire Digital Commons network, all 398 institutional repositories. Collections can be organized under departments or groups, which in Maritime or in Digital Commons terminology is called community. Let's take a look at one of the libraries collections is reports. A lot of our collections in the library will be IP restricted or password protected because we might have permission to share internally, but not with the entire world. We still need a place to host this stuff, and we're getting a fairly large collection of these kind of commercially purchased documents that we had permission to store, and nowhere convenient to store them and put them all together in a searchable interface like this. We also collect open access content as well, things you could find on the open web, but we've pulled them together. Even if we don't necessarily upload the document, we will at least create metadata and a link to the place you can find it on the internet so that our users have a more convenient place to go for this kind of content. Departments can, and their research groups, they can manage their own digital collections, and we are happy to assist in that, but ultimately we hope to build a self-help system. Here's the Marissa Journal publications, just one of their collections under Marissa. Okay. Maritime Commons is going to support extensive data formats. Most of it's going to be PDFs, but we can collect just about any kind of digital object and share it with whom we want or to the entire world. And we can customize metadata for different groups and different collections. In addition to collections, we can host journals, conference proceedings, and ebooks. Digital Commons hosts 1,142 e-journals, and the system has built-in workflows for peer review. Of those 1,142, 30 of those journals are subscription-based, and here's an example where you click the link and you end up hitting a paywall. However, the rest of the 1,142 e-journals are open access. There are 246 e-journals that are peer-reviewed. Let's take a look at the California Law Review that's hosted on the Digital Commons platform. This is the University of California, Berkeley Law School publication, and as you can see, it looks a lot like what you would see in Springer or Science Direct. Here's your editorial information. There's the submission policies. You can search just in this journal. You can also browse all issues. Let's just take a look at one here, and let's take a little bit closer look at what's going on with this this metadata and this presentation here. As you can see, there's links to the authors. Note that they come from two different institutions. Now, if you were to click Kate's or Jason's, you would see all the articles pulled together that they have written that are listed with any repository and not just their home networks. And like I say, note the different institutions that they represent. There's a ResearchGate-like feature which users can choose to follow and get notified whenever there's new publications. Um, there's the links to the disciplines, which again go across all the repositories in the network. So let's take a quick look at the Internet Law Commons. And as you can see, quite impressive. It represents 95 institutions. There are nearly 2,500 authors with nearly 3,000 full-text articles that have almost 1.5 million downloads. So this is the network, the Internet Law Commons, as it's referred to in digital commons parlance. Okay, there's the download link, and there's the total number of downloads, which you will see on each article. More than 850 conferences and events have been hosted on the Digital Commons platform, as have several hundred ebooks. WMU can host as many e-journals, conference proceedings, and ebooks as it wants at no additional cost. Cost? Yes. It costs us $13,500 US per year to host on the Maritime Commons. That's what we've negotiated for WMU with the Digital Commons platform. Many institutions pay a lot more than that. This is being brought to us by the DNV-GL donation for the e-library, and we hope to have it funded for the next several years. What we get for the price? Well, first of all, we get flexibility. We can put up pretty much anything we want as long as it's, well, within good taste and certainly within copyright compliance. We can put peer-reviewed scholarship, open access content, restricted content. We can put up just memorabilia. Many institutions are actually putting up their governing documents and committee meetings. But I'm not sure that that is the best use of digital commons or the best place to put such documents, but it is being done, and the system certainly has the capacity to host that sort of information. In addition to flexibility, we get capacity. Unlimited storage, unlimited documents, unlimited collections. In addition to flexibility and capacity, we get reach. This is just the most recent article we just looked at, and as you can see, in less than 2 years, 3,000 downloads. That's reach. A complement to reach is access. If reach is getting our publications out to our readers, access is getting what we want from other researchers. And for us to get the best access we can get, we need to participate in a system which helps bring down the cost of information for everyone. Now remember, commercial publishers charge for access. Why? Well, let's take a look at the contributions to scholarly publications that's made by the WMU folks and the folks in the publishing houses. Okay, if you look at what World Maritime University contributes, we have research, we have composition, and we do the editorial and administrative work. I mean, it's pretty much the journal from start to finish. Whereas you look at what the publishers contribute: advertising, they host the content, and they enforce copyright. Let's look at advertising. For free, we've seen one article get 3,000 downloads in less than 2 years. Is the advertising as effective as that? I mean, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk that I have the answer, but this is worth looking into. Now, as for the hosting cost, it's costing us $13,500 a year to put our content up there. But all of it that we author, we can put up there for free. When we host with a commercial publisher, 1 or 2 articles per journal are made open access. 1 or 2 chapters in a book, 1 or 2 proceedings in a conference are made open access. For anything more than that, we have to pay. We, the ones who did all the work, have to pay to make it open access to cover the costs of the publishers' offices and salaries. If we were to put all our content with a commercial publisher in open access format, we would possibly be paying more than $13,500 a year. Now let's look at copyright enforcement. What is that? Well, that's when the publisher charges for research and to access that research and uses legal means to ensure compliance. This benefits us not at all. Of course, as authors, we want to be properly attributed. We want credit for our work when people use it. But that's not the same thing as standing and collecting money in order to access our content. This only benefits the publishers. So if you look at the results of the contributions, what we get with something like the Commons is reach, but for the publishers, we're doing it for the prestige. And at some point, we have to consider whether that prestige is worth sacrificing the reach, if indeed we are sacrificing the reach. This bears further looking into. I mean, you think about any other research institution, they have the same process, they contribute the same that we here at WMU do. So we're both paying some middlemen to access each other's content. What if we could participate in a system or systems which cut out this middleman, that provide direct links across disciplines and connect us and bring research to each other? And think the WMU would be paying $13,500 a year for a worldwide reach, for an audience that is virtually worldwide. In exchange, if everyone else is participating in the same system, then we get that research open access. So flexibility, reach, capacity, access for $13,500 US dollars a year. What else? Well, I mentioned the selected works. Now, selected works, as I said, is a complementary product of basically author profiles, faculty profiles. We've seen a number of these systems, but Maritime Commons, Digital Commons, their selected works platform hosts 167 institutions that are currently using it, with thousands of faculty profiles and hundreds of thousands of documents, journal articles, conference papers, books and chapters, presentations, unpublished works. Now let's take a look at just one of these here, and take a look. You can see there's bio information and there's links to content. In this case, we have one link that is directly to the PDF that is open access, and we can support that. In the second case, perhaps there was a paywall, but we can still provide a link to the publisher's website and put our metadata, so we can put it all together, and it's just one more avenue for this author to be discovered. Now, on the other side of the page, you have the follow link. You can put links to the groups you belong to, put your expertise. So how does selected works differ from other faculty profile systems? Because there are a number of them out there. Some of you are probably participating in ResearchGate, and a lot of you use Google Scholar. Open Scholar is a very promising platform. It's a good question. If you were to draw a Venn diagram, I'm not going to go into the details here, but they all have something desirable, and there is a lot of overlap, but they don't all replicate each other's features. But you want to look at impact factor. You want to look at ease of use. Search engine optimization, how easy it is to find in search engines, find your documents. The hosting costs, if any, and the portability. Can you export the citation information easily into bibliographic management software or across these platforms, etc. All of these systems have something to recommend them, and each has something that the others don't. We're just going to go with the strength of the selected works. I'm not going to list all these other systems, and they've probably invented more just in the time that I've been giving this presentation. But the strength of selected works, the consistent organization and WMU branding, that's something you won't see in ResearchGate or Google Scholar, for instance. Very excellent search engine optimization, high results in internet search engines for things that we've put in the Maritime Commons platform. It has links to the Digital Commons repository. That's the entire academic network. And it has links to the Maritime Commons repository, our flavor of Digital Commons. And so you can add or update content for a department or project repository and update the profile all in one place. Selected works costs us $5,000 US per year, in addition to what we're already paying for the Maritime Commons platform. It is missing some desirable features that we like in some of the other systems. To tell you the truth, we feel at the library that we don't want to force anyone into any particular system. We would like to have a system where you can participate in as many of these as you want, but only have to update your profile in one place. And that's something that we, as a library profession and computer guys, are going to be working on, no doubt. It doesn't exist yet, but it's something that's desperately needed because all of these bring something, just depending on what it is you're trying to do and what communities you're associated with. The system doesn't exist now, but stay tuned. If selected works doesn't get used, we will discontinue it and try something else. The same is actually true for the institutional repository system. I mean, we're using digital commons, but we've looked at DSpace, we've looked at ePrints, and we've looked at Islandora. These are 4 systems that were studied in 2014, and there was a report issued by UNESCO about the institutional repository platforms. They all have something to recommend them, and we will keep our eye on all of them. The thing about these other 3 is that they offer a free version, just as powerful. But when I say free, I mean free puppy and not free beer. That is, you have to do the maintenance yourself. I mean, the source code is completely open. What this means is that you really need a developer. Now, we had a developer, actually he was world class. We hired him from Stanford University, but he recently left us. And that position has been abolished. So that kind of put us in the situation where digital commons was almost the only one we could actually consider. I mean, there are, with a couple of these, there are hosted versions we can pay for, but by the time we added all things up, digital commons really worked out best for us. But it came at a good time because we are going into year 3 of our 5-year strategic plan. Throughout that plan, we mentioned the need for the institutional repository, and particularly when we get to the section on open access publishing. When you think about it, we just recently gotten this new Maritime Oceans and Policy Research Institute. And that, of course, requires that we be capable of research. We need to collect the materials that our researchers need. At the same time, we need to be thinking about what happens to that research. Even when you publish with a commercial journal, there's a lot of research left over that you didn't use. There's a lot of raw data. That stuff should not go to waste. It should still be discoverable. It should still be of use as long as it's properly attributed. And so if we're going to have a research institute, we need not just really a conventional library that collects things. It also has to host our research data. And that's really, as I say, good timing that we have gotten this platform so that we can use it to pursue the research institute needs as we get further along in that project. Okay, now let's review very quickly what we've got so far here. Now we've got the repository platform, Digital Commons. We're going to call this Maritime Commons, I think, no matter what platform we use. But our brand is Maritime Commons, and currently it's on the Digital Commons platform. We have unlimited documents and collections available to us. We have a repository for research data. We can do open access publishing, including peer review. We have disciplines linking across hundreds of other institutional repositories, and we have solid search engine optimization technologies. Complementary to that, we also have the Selected Works platform. It's costing us a little more, but it gives us WMU branded faculty pages, and they're linked to the Academic Disciplines Network and to the WMU repository. We have an exit plan if better opportunities arise. Whatever we get into, we want to be able to take our data and our metadata and migrate somewhere else. Now, this is not something we want to do at the drop of a hat or too often, but anything we get into, we want to have an exit plan. And we certainly have with Digital Commons. It is part of our contract that when we want to stop doing this, we're doing year-by-year payments, but at any time we can get our data, metadata, in addition to regular quarterly distribution of that data and metadata, but at any time we can take that and put it somewhere else. Okay, so where from here? Well, the first thing I encourage you to do is go to commons.wmu.se. And once there, take a look at the collections, sample around. Think about your research groups or some of the projects you have. Think about unpublished works that you'd like to highlight that maybe you don't want to send to a conventional publisher. But like I say, think about uh, any groups you belong to. And of course, we want to see what we can do more in the way of conferences. And then sign up, get yourself a selected works profile page and start filling that out. The main thing is contact Eric or Anna or me and that, or come on by the library and ask us about the commons. Thank you.